those people are at war with themselves and they're trying to bring us into it. No, keep that over there. Literally fighting demons. Literally.
My fellow citizens of the world who probably hate America right now, I just want you to know that most Americans are against this war. It's not even close. None of us want this to happen. There's only a handful of us, nut jobs and cuckoos, who are basically in love with our stepfather, Israel. Our incompetent stepfather. Our stepfather has already financially ruined us. It has abused us. It has harassed us. It gaslights us on a daily basis. We don't know what to do because our government is probably as corrupt as yours, if not more. They're all compromised.
So you took out the Ayatollah and bragged like you were freeing the Iranian people, only for them to elect the Ayatollah's son, whose wife you also killed.
I'm not gonna lie, I am not going to war, bro. It's not happening, bro. I'm not the one who started the beef. Why do I have to fucking settle it? That's like the homie that you're not really that cool with, but you're kinda chill with, fucking pissing off like 10 dudes and being like, yeah, you got me though, right? They're trying to jump me tonight. No, I fucking don't. You did some dumb shit. I don't fuck with you enough to have your back, even if they're the ones tripping in the first place and you did nothing wrong. We're not cool like that, bro. I'm not fighting 10 dudes with you. What the fuck are you talking about? So I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not going to war. Fucking drag me out of my house about it, bro.
So the White House is refusing to rule out initiating a draft. Caroline Leavitt says that Trump is keeping all options on the table.
Others out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table.
Welcome to the renewal. Please be sure to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel.
As war in the Middle East continues, many Americans are against it. Not only are lives being took, but many are fearing this war could turn into another long, costly conflict. Others fear the economic hit it will have on Americans, raising the prices for oil and gas, which affects everyday lives for most Americans. While most agree that the reasons for the war aren't clear enough, many are saying to leave them out of this mess. Let's check it out.
Like, now's not the time to book this trip to Disney World that you wanted, or hell, even Disneyland, right? Now's not the time to think of any large theme park to go to.
A lot of you are saying, well, President Trump is just acting without Congress, and that Congress technically has the ability to declare war. That's true. But you forget, last week, Congress had the ability to stop the president. They had the ability to enact the War Powers Resolution. The War Powers Resolution, which was passed in the 70s, basically says that the president has to give Congress 48-hour notice after the president deploys the military. And that once the president does deploy the military can only stay in one place for 60 days. Then an extension has to be granted by Congress. However, last week, the U.S. Senate voted to not impose the War Powers Resolution. And then the House of Representatives, shortly after that, approved not to enact the War Powers Resolution. So although Congress technically does have the authority to stop the U.S. president, they have chosen not to.
Stop saying we are going to war with Iran. Last time I checked, it's not fucking France, it's America. The good old boys of America, the little niggas of America is trying to motherfucking just survive this bullshit we call surviving every goddamn day from paycheck to paycheck. The good old boys, I'm talking about the old country white folks that ain't trying to go motherfucking fight no goddamn war. They got some 30-60 when they come in their backyard. That is the only war they gonna fight. And the little niggas, and that's what I'm talking about. The only time they gonna come down O Block on that bullshit, that's the only time you gonna see somebody go fight some shit. Other than that, We not finna be boots on the ground going to no Iran fucking with them. That ain't our war. We got enough going on in America. We barely can survive our shit. Y'all are putting us in some shit that we have no motherfucking opinion about. All you rich motherfuckers that want to argue about some old black shit that was in the ground that y'all sucking up out of a motherfucking ground with a straw and arguing over this shit and making us $100 a barrel and making us pay $4 a motherfucking gallon for. Fuck y'all with that shit. That's y'all fight. We tired of living with this motherfucking thumb on our motherfucking neck any goddamn way. In a minute, we gonna run out of oil. We not even gonna have shit to replace this shit. So in a minute, all us gonna have to find out how to ride a motherfucking horse or get on some bikes or put them motherfucking socks and shoes the motherfucking we use and figure out, damn, all us had SS's and we ain't even know about. It's called socks and motherfucking shoes. And you better put it to use in a minute because oil is gonna be out of fucking leak. Stop adding everybody to the motherfucking menu or saying we finna go out here and put boots on the ground and fight Iran. Because the last time I checked, we is not in France. This is motherfucking America. And the good old boys and the good Linkless is not going for that shit. Just my opinion, just being honest.
This war's happening
to destabilize the Middle East because Netanyahu has always wanted control of the Middle East. He's always wanted Iran. We started to end the Iraq War. We have spent 23 years standing in the way of Bibi Netanyahu's desire for the war in Iran that goes back to 1995. He's been lying about weapons of mass destruction in Iran since 1995.
You think America might lose this war?
It's lost every war since, I mean, it's really lost every war. It didn't win World War II. Iran is not as dumb as Trump hopes.
This war is costing about $1 billion a day. What can
it's costing more. Don't say that.
Okay, tell me.
Iran has just hit 6 U.S. military bases that cost trillions of dollars to build over 20 years. The biggest.
We're paying for that.
We already paid for it with your tax dollars.
Wow.
It's not just $1 billion a day. It's the trillions of dollars that just got destroyed. And our media's not telling us that. They're not talking about what's happening. They're hiding it. And when they're hiding it, you know something's wrong.
You want to know why you're not getting reliable updates about the war in the Middle East from establishment U.S. media sources? It's because Iran is whooping their ass. Whooping our ass. Go follow Al Jazeera, come back here, and let me know what you're seeing.
The most annoying thing about the so spineless and annoying.
With all this talk about going to war, I just came to tell you we're not going to war. Literally, I told my friends to this like last week, bro. They want you to think we're going to war. Do you understand? They're playing with your heads. Do you understand? And this is how the middle class keep falling for everything, bro. Do you understand? We keep falling for the same traps. We're not going to war. If we wanted to go to war, 2021, when Russia and Ukraine got cracking, we would have been in war then. Do you understand? We would have been 5 years deep in war, but we're not. Why? Because the world leaders are. You understand? All the leaders and presidents, they like money. Do you understand? War don't get no money. They lose money. Do you understand? They're funding the military to lose money, lose buildings. You get it. All them. Wake up, you man. They ain't about it. Do you understand? Plain and simple. World leaders, if you see this, I'm joking, innit? But I'm not joking. Come lick me. What now? What?
So, I hear word on the street is that we may have the draft kicking up. So I take it that little Mr. Barron, young Barron, gonna be one of the first people standing up, running up in line to go get himself signed up. And I take it the Republican Party that's supporting this crazy war that we didn't ask for, nor did we want. I take it their children of age and their grandchildren of age, they're gonna be signing up too. And not to mention MAGA now. Now MAGA, y'all make sure y'all get yourselves in that line if you aged enough, and make sure your grandkids and your great-grands get on out there, because this is what y'all asked for. This is what you voted for this man. Now, don't go get scared now. Be bad, big and bold, baby. Be big and bold. Do your thing for this country. Y'all patriots.
Iran is really ready for all the smoke. Y'all check this out.
Yes. President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade, the ground troops?
Yes.
But if I get called or if I know the draft is finna start, I'm gonna go ahead and just get strung out on crack. Because they not gonna draft a fucking crackhead. Like, if they don't, like, I really doubt they're gonna draft crackheads. And, like, hear me out. If I go to war, I have a chance of dying, right? And you can't come back from death, but you can come back from being a crackhead. I'm saying, I'll be strung out for 3-4 years, feel me, like, lose my teeth or whatever, but hey, I'm alive. But if I go to war, motherfucker, I could die. I could die doing crack, but I feel like deep down in my soul, I could not get strung out like that. Like, yeah, I'll be, like, itching and tweaking and shit, but, like, I'll be able to come back and, like, go to rehab and be clean after the war. You feel me? But, like, if I go to war, bro, I'm about to come back either taking happy pills or just dead, bro. I'm not doing that. But also, like, if I was in charge of drafting people, I would be drafting crackheads first. Because, like, you could promise them crack, like, every 2 weeks, and they gonna fight their heart out. You feel me? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Those withdrawals, they be willing to do anything for a little bit of, a little bit of crack. You feel me? So maybe that is not the best idea. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of the draft now that I'm thinking about it.
I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government.
Trump made regime change an explicit goal, really for the first time. And U.S.-Israeli military strikes has taken out the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, which is a huge moment in the Middle East and a huge moment for Donald Trump because he came to office promising no new wars. He said
regime change is a proven absolute failure.
And now he finds himself not only using power to start another war in the Middle East, but pursuing the exact kind of regime change he once scorned. So how did Donald Trump change his message from no new wars to regime change? I've covered the White House for most of the last 30 years. I often try to compare presidents. In this case, I think we're comparing the same president to himself. Long before he was even a candidate, Trump was expressing these ideas that we shouldn't be going to war with Iran. In fact, back in 2011, he taped a video, it's now been deleted, in which he accused Barack Obama of plotting to attack Iran.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate.
Candidate Trump offered a different vision. No more wars. America first.
We will stop racing to topple foreign... And you understand this. Foreign regimes.
Trump, of course, came into office with not a single day in the military or in public office. The only president, by the way, in our history with no such experience. And like a lot of presidents who were new, he seemed to feel a little uncomfortable with the use of military force at first. He wanted to pull troops home from South Korea, Germany, the Middle East. And he had...
Listen, y'all, this is for Iran. Send it to their government. If y'all know them, if you don't, keep scrolling, help me out. I'm not proud to be an American where they want to see me 6 feet deep. And I don't fuck with this administration who cheat, steal, and lie to me. So I stand up next to y'all with fingers to the sky. I don't fuck with none of this shit, and auntie don't want to die. For real though.
We are not going into World War III. Because if we did, everybody would pass away. Let me take y'all back to 7th grade government class. There's something called MAD. I'm not talking about when you lag out of talking about no damn comic book. MAD, Mutually Assured Destruction, which means these big militaries like Russia, like China, like the US has so much shit set up on so many different continents in so many different places that you would have to wipe out half the globe overnight to wipe one of these nations out. And if you don't, if you miss one of their bases or 2 or 3, they are going to send some shit that's gonna blitz your motherfucking country. Turn that shit into AOT season 4, my nigga. And I'm not talking about that happy part. And this is for all of them. This is for Russia, China, the US. There's no way that shit is going to happen, man.
This is why World War III will never happen. If World War III happened tomorrow and it came on the news, hey everyone, World War III is going to happen, what would your reaction be? Would your reaction be, oh yeah, sign me up, let's go? Your reaction would be, I'm not fighting for this country. Or your reaction would be, oh, I'm gay or I'm trans, I'm not going to fight for this country. That is the issue. We've got too many gay people, we've got too many trans people, we've got too many LGBT and feminine men that will never fight. So there won't be a war, World War III. Don't worry about that. And if there is, I'll step in. So don't worry.
So we have some major Iran news right now. According to Donald Trump, the current map of Iran is going to be changing. Yes, he said in a True Social post that once the bombing campaign is done, the current map of Iran will not be recognizable anymore. It will be changing. What does that mean? Well, obviously, we don't know exactly, but I think it's been pretty obvious from the outset of this war that Israel wants Iran to be carved up along ethnic lines as well as divisive religious lines. And that way it will never ever pose a threat to Israel dominance in the Middle East again. And I think that the Arab partners in all of this are starting to regret pushing Donald Trump towards this war, as it is now proving to be extremely devastating towards their own economies, because they can no longer get their liquid natural gas out or their crude oil, and their economies are about to take a major blow. That's all I got for you right now, so stay safe, stay free.
The United States and Israel has struck Iran, so I guess we can say that we are officially at war, and welcome to World War III. So earlier today, U.S. Embassy staff was authorized to leave Israel amid Iran strikes. Y'all, it has not even been 24 hours as of yet, and the United States and Israel has already struck Iran. With that being said, Donald Trump did come out with the 8-minute pre-recorded press conference where he stated that there could be some American casualties due to this war. This war is not going to be like the war that we seen last summer. No, this is going to be very extensive, and this is going to be ongoing, and some American people will possibly lose their life, okay? Let me just say this. Y'all, shit is going to get ugly, and I feel like it's going to get ugly fast. This has been going on for less than an hour, and Israel and Iran is already going back and forth with one another. Let me just start there. In addition to that, I feel like we really have to think about all of the sleeper cells that's possibly in the United States due to all of those damn immigrants that the Biden administration allowed to come inside of this country. Let's just put prayers up for everybody that's involved, y'all, because I do not think that this shit is going to end well, and it can get very ugly pretty quickly because it already has.
We're not at war. This isn't a war that's happening. Gas prices are probably going to go up to like $6 to $8 to $9. Oil prices are probably going to go up to about $170, $180 a barrel. Most highest that it's ever been, but we're not at war. It's okay because we're not at war. Okay? We're not at war.
So, let me get this straight. The guy who dodged the draft 5 times and would not go to war for his country wants to draft people so that they can go to war for his cover-up of the Epstein files. So I'm not going to make any excuses of I have ADHD, because I do have that. But I'm not going to make any other type of excuses, from family history or anything like that. Just know that if you put a freedom stick in my hands and you expect me to work with MAGA, you have another thing coming. I want you to just go ahead and let your imagination run wild with what would happen. Donnie, you can go ahead and send your kids to war. And then all of these people that wear your red hat, you can all go to war. And all of your kids can go to war. We're not. And if you put me and a whole bunch of other people who think like me in their own little squadron, guess what? You're not going to have a squadron. You're not going to have a whole group of people fighting for you. You're going to have a whole lot of people not fighting with you. Shit, with our ADHD, we will see something shiny over there, and then we're going to go and, fuck off and oh, what happened? Ah, geez. Whatever happened?
Let's stop talking about illegal wars, because did you know we haven't declared war since World War II? But how many wars have we been in? Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq. We don't have to declare war to do what we're doing. The War Powers Resolution Act of 1973 certainly helped that, but we've been doing it since the 1950s. Can we move on and just speak factually about what's happening? There's so much noise out there, you guys. Declaring war isn't the only legal way the U.S. fights wars, unfortunately. Out of dozens of wars we've been in, Congress has only declared 5 of them.
So the reasons that I can't go to war, number one, I'm too tired. I'm too tired all the time to be able to go to war. Number two, the uniforms are just not going to do it for me. They're not. I can't be wearing that. Number three, if a man in uniform screams at me, I'm probably going to be like, oh, daddy. And I don't think that's going to happen. I'm probably going to end up getting, and that's not good for anyone.
Good morning. If you're either ambivalent to what's going on in Iran at the moment, or you support the military action that the US and Israel are taking in Iran, let me just share a couple of thoughts with you. I was out of the country all last week, so I wasn't really up to date with what's going on, but I've kind of caught up, and it's quite disturbing what's happening. So first of all, it is, to all intents and purposes, an illegal war. Trump is supposed to get congressional approval before entering into war, and he didn't do that. And it's still unclear as to what his justification was for bombing the hell out of a sovereign nation. Now, as much as you might despise the Iranian regime, international law suggests you just can't go around and bomb countries unless you're under threat. And there isn't a security agency in the world that has come out and said there was an imminent threat. In fact, it was only months ago that Trump launched an attack in Iran to supposedly take out any future threat of Iran creating a nuclear arsenal. And he declared that a 100% success, and they had obliterated the threat of nuclear weapons being built in Iran. So there's no justification for this war. Now, you've probably heard that they bombed a school full of children. Over 100 kids died in that attack. And then 40 minutes later, after the parents had arrived to try and dig their children out of the rubble, they threw another Tomahawk missile at the school, killing the parents. Now, that is a disgusting thing to do. But instead of the US saying, it was a tragic accident, we're really sorry, we got the wrong target, they then turned around, or Trump turned around, Hegseth didn't actually back him up, and he'll be in trouble for that. Trump turned around and said, it was the Iranians that did it. They bombed their own school, which is a disgusting thing to say. Now, the problem that that's going to give Americans and the rest of the Western world in the long run is Iranians live in a kind of martyrdom culture, and they have very long memories. They pretty much hate the West anyway, although they would have accepted our support because the regime there is not popular. About 85% of the population don't support the regime. So we could have won hearts and minds, and I say we, the West, could have won hearts and minds and supported some kind of uprising. But instead of that, bomb the hell out of them with no plan, no exit strategy. And it's turned the people of Iran against particularly the US, but the rest of the West. Now, you may not care about any of that because it doesn't affect you, but let me tell you what does affect you. Every time you go and fill up your tank with fuel, you'll see a dramatic increase in the price of fuel. But you can cope with that. What's another 5-6 pence a litre on your fuel? But the price of oil has gone up exponentially. So not all of that increase in cost has passed through yet. But the real point I wanted to make is, if you're of an age where you're saving for a private pension, and most people are, and let's say you've got a reasonable pension pot of, say, £300,000. I checked my savings and investments recently, and I've lost over 5% in a week. So on £300,000, you have lost £15,000 of the money that you saved and invested into your future. Now, you know, that may well come back. Some could argue that the market was overheated and needed correction anyway. But either way, you are worth £15,000 less than you were a week ago if you've got a £300,000 pension. And if you're lucky to have more, you've lost more. And that's the harsh reality of what's happened. Despite the fact that for generations to come, you're going to have Iranian people so upset with what we did, particularly relating to that bombing of the school, that any relationship that Iran is going to could have potentially had with the West is gone. And you talk about global security. How many martyrs is this going to create that are then going to maybe think that terrorism is their only answer because they've got no other way of fighting back? And then you've got the refugees, the people that are going to be victimized by the continuance of the regime because his son has just been voted to take over as supreme leader. So it's going to create more refugees and possibly more people fleeing to the West for their own safety. So if you're supportive of the war and what Trump is doing, you might want to think about the impact that it's going to have on you.
Like, what the fuck? This is how I feel. I feel like a lot of the world is in the unknown of what the fuck is going on right now and how serious it is to sit the fuck down. And I understand some people have like fucking responsibilities where you can't sit down, but bro, like, they're doing bomb threats on these airplanes. They're getting fucking evacuated out of airports. They're shutting down airports and airplanes. Threats, like bomb threats. Like, this shit is not a game. Like, it's not a fucking game. Like, get somewhere and sit the fuck down and pray. Cause y'all acting like y'all not afraid of nothing. Like, y'all not afraid of shit. I really need y'all to turn on the fucking news. I really do.
I heard that there might be a draft. Might I suggest my ex? His name is Corey. He is insanely neurotypical. Probably in good health, unfortunately. He's a Tool. He also happens to be a Tool fan. The entire left side of his body is covered in tribal.
Iran sleeper cells, or is it going to be our own government, guys? We don't know. We're already being fucked over. Look at the gas prices. Can't even talk right. That's how fucked up this got me. If you guys can avoid being around big crowds, big areas where airplanes, whatever it is, because terrorist attacks can happen anywhere. Do you guys remember the terrorist attack in San Bernardino, California, in 2015? That couple who, at a job facility or whatever it was. Do you guys remember that? And then do you guys remember the guy at the border? I think this was approximately about a year ago that said, soon everyone will find out who I am. Do you guys remember the girl at the Colorado airport warning everybody, saying something bigger than the 9/11 is to happen? Do you guys remember? We are to be warned before things happen.
Hey TikTok, this is not for bullying or harassment. These are my thoughts, my opinions, and I'm entitled to them under the First Amendment, freedom of speech and expression, while we still have it. This is more for informational and educational purposes. Dear Iranian people, I want to make this very clear, emphatically. Black America had absolutely nothing to do with this fucking war. I would go a little further and say a certain demographic of Caucasian America had nothing to do with this fucking war, neither. There is another demographic, though, of America that had everything to do with this fucking war. So do me a favor, please and thank you. Now, I hear there is retaliation coming. But could you please do me a favor? Do Black America and the other 70 million people that didn't vote for this fucking shit? There are specific states, and I'll go through the list. But I know you already know this because you're good at this shit and you know your enemies. If it's one thing. Now, I know everybody like to come to New York, but understand, please, that there is a specific place in New York Any aggression should be directed to a specific place. I don't need to tell you because I'm sure you know already. So please direct any and all aggressions towards that specific place. The rest of New York, leave us alone, please, and thank you, because we have fucking nothing to do with this.
So the war in Iran is currently a war without a strategy. Now, like Trump or not like Trump, I don't care how you look at it. The guy has opened up a Pandora's box, okay? He's fighting a war. He doesn't have a total strategy to that war. Now, the Iranians know that they can't win this war politically, and all wars have to have an end politically, okay? Even World War II, you drop the nuke on Japan, they still have to surrender politically, okay? That's where the Iranians have an advantage. They can force Trump into a real bad situation politically, and we're already starting to see that amongst his rank-and-file Republicans. America First works when the fighting class, the middle class, buys into the message, okay? Right now, we're only starting to see little segments of that buy into it. We're starting to see this fray politically, and the Iranians know that. Now, I personally think that Trump is being played by Netanyahu like a fiddle.